Transform your hot yoga floor poses. This is part one of a part 4 series. As you can see, we're back at the ocean. We're back at the Outer Banks of North Carolina. This is the second half of a Barkan Method Level 1 200-hour teacher training program. By the way, if you're interested in becoming a Barkan Method teacher, live or online, I put links in the description below. So when I first split from Bikram, 2002, and I started creating my own sequence, and every posture in the Bikram sequence is in mind. However, what I saw was missing were hip openers. The first thing I did was to add hip openers, especially to the floor series. So we're going to go back to the studio at OBX Hot Yoga with soon-to-be graduate Haley and demonstrate these hip opening floor poses. The standing poses are over. And now what happens? Now we're in what I consider to be the second most important moment of the class. I'm looking over here because we're in a teacher training program. So I'm looking at people in the teacher training program. Shavasana, the first Shavasana. FYI, Bikram and Vishnu Ghosh pronounce it Savasana. The proper Sanskrit, I've been told, I'm not a Sanskrit expert, is Shavasana, which literally means dead man's pose or corpse pose. So after the standing poses are over, we lay down in Shavasana, and I always say it in almost every class, the second most important moment of the class, because now we're allowing the energy to complete and flow through. What would be the most important moment of the class? Shavasana. The final Shavasana, correct. So let's talk about the way Bikram and Vishnu Ghosh teach this pose. They say heels together, touching, and then toes out. Arms a little closer to your body, palms up. I still think there could be tension held in the body because the whole idea is not to have any tension at all. So I like the legs a little bit more apart. You can separate them a little bit. Still let the toes come out. Arms maybe a little bit more away from you, but not too much. Or find somewhere in between. It's one of the only poses I'll say to the classroom, find a position that's comfortable for you because we want to completely relax. And the other postures that we're doing, usually what feels right or what feels comfortable is what's anatomically or alignment-wise off because your body has sort of adapted away from what's off. So there's nothing really comfortable about any of the poses, and that's what makes it so challenging. The proper alignment usually is uncomfortable. But Shavasana is different. Shavasana, we just have to relax and let go completely. And the eyes are still open in the first Shavasana because the class isn't over yet. So if you close your eyes, you're going to start spacing out. We don't want to signal to the body and to the brain that the class is over. So eyes are open. You could bring your chin down just a little bit and then just let it relax. And why is this moment so important? We call this the Shiva Shakti moment, meaning I think of the standing poses as the Shiva or Shaivite energy, and the floor poses as the Shakti energy. Shiva the masculine, Shakti the feminine, creative principle of existence. So now the two come together and they reconcile in this moment. So we work the body so intensely in the standing poses, we created contraction and relaxation and opening up the channels of the body. Remember what the channels of the body are called? The nadis, N-A-D-I-S. These are the physical ethereal conduits that flow around us and through us. And now in this Shavasana time, and I'm spending a lot of time on it because it's so important, the blood and oxygen, the prana shakti are flowing around us and through us. Not just the physical, but the ethereal body. So this is such an important moment to take it in. And then what happens is the circulation begins to flow into the areas of the body that are imbalanced or, let's say, off-center with more intention because it's smart, it seeks it out. So now the blood and oxygen are going to flow in to heal the body. This is why it's such an important position. So as a teacher, it's important to now understand the dynamics of the class. Now we have to take the class into a little softer energy. That doesn't mean you're whispering. It doesn't mean you're talking to the point. If you're in a big room like this, they still have to hear you. But your energy and your subtext changes. Now you have to relax. You have to show we are now in Shakti mode. We're now in relaxation mode and let it happen. So now after you talked about everything that you need to talk about in Shavasana, remember you don't want to make spiritual up. You want to make sure that you talk about what you know, especially when you're younger. And now it's time to start the pose. We can get out of Shakti mode and we can get a little bit more, forceful is not the right word, we can get a little bit more louder to grab the attention. So after our Shavasana is done, okay, first pose, Supta Bhadrasana, one of the poses that I added to the Bikram flow to open up the hips externally. Bring the soles of the feet together as high as you can for the knees to open out in an external rotation. The modification, or the little help if you need it, is to place the hands on the inner thighs and just even closer in and just press and allow the energy to flow through. The only modification, because say these hips are pretty open, her feet wouldn't come that high up for some people, so bring your feet back a little bit that way. Some people are going to be like this. Just know that that's the modification. Or you can just arms by your side, palms up if you don't need that help with your hands and your hips. And then to come out of it, knees together, back down Shavasana. There it is. One of Bikram's favorite sayings was contraction, relaxation. So go back to that pose for a second. Right now what we're actually doing is contracting the inner thighs, and we're actually cutting the circulation off that area in this moment. So now we're holding, contracting like a tourniquet's holding back the blood and oxygen. Now the knees come together, back to Shavasana, the blood and oxygen now flow through. This is why Shavasana is so important. This completes the entire equation. In the Bikram sequence, Pavana Muktasana. Pavana is the god of wind, also known as Vaya. Mukti is liberation, so the literal translation is wind liberation pose, but it's been nicknamed wind removing pose. So you're going to interlace the fingers at the knee and pull the knee to the chest. Now, one of the things that happened in the Bikram world was that he started to give the same instruction to a beginner or someone that needs the modification to a 20 or 30-year veteran that doesn't need the modification. You're only bringing the knee outside the rib cage if your hip flexor is tight and you can't get the knee to the chest. So let's change and do the left leg so you can see it a little bit better from the left side, people at home and also people here. So if your hip flexor is tight and you can't get the knee to the chest, you can shift it over toward the left shoulder or armpit a little bit more. That opens the knee. You're still going to pull into the center line. Pull it in. But no, bring it out and then just straighten in from there. That's it. The right leg should be completely relaxed. The calf muscle should be touching the floor. The thigh muscle completely touching the floor. You can gently flex this left foot if you need to as a lever. But in India, because their hips are so ridiculously open, they don't even use this grip. This is more of a Western grip. This is what I call the pulling grip. So if you can't bring your knee up a little bit more, if your knee is up like this, the knee, you can still interlace your fingers. But a lot of people can't get the knee to the chest because their hip flexor is tight. So if their knee's this high, they need this grip to pull the knee down. But if you can get the knee to the chest, this is more the advanced grip, what they do in India. You're gonna hook your elbow into the knee and then grab each elbow, Bikram would say, grab each elbow each other, in his broken language, to make a box, shoulders down, arms here. Now she's in a holding grip. No longer, drop the shoulder down a little bit more. No longer a pulling grip. It's like we do with both legs, except you can grab even more of your elbow to get closer on the box, closer box. Yeah, and down. Drop your shoulder. So you're making a box. This is the advanced grip. When Bikram's wife first came to this country, Rajashree, we were sitting in the back and Bikram's teaching. We weren't doing the class, we were watching. And she whispers to me, do this grip again, this one here. She says, I've never seen that grip. What are they doing? And I said, well, because we're in America, we need the pulling grip because people's hips are too tight. But in India, they do the box grip because they don't have to pull anymore. They're just holding it. So that's the advantage. I don't even really say it in class. If people know it, they do it. Because if your knee's up here like this and you're doing it, This isn't happening. Nothing's going on here. You need the pull and grip. Most people do. So I'd have them interlace the fingers and pull it in. Okay, and then relax. And also one thing too, bring your right leg up for a second. You don't want to transition to the left leg by bringing the left leg up and dropping the right knee down. Do that. Now pull your left knee up and when you do the other side. Instead, go back to right leg again. You have to complete the position. So go down completely in Shavasana. Now left leg up. And I've said that, no, left leg. And I said that before, specifically. Now relax completely. And now both legs up, the final position. So grab your elbows. Each elbow, each other. And the Bikram, wonderful English. Feet are together, don't let them cross. Don't let them point. You're grabbing your elbows. If you can't get the elbows, what's the modification? Forearms, wrists, hands, even like that. You grab like that. Or you can grab outside your legs, like this, and separate your knees a little bit. You might have a big belly, and you might be able to get the knees to the chest. So that would be the modification. Now grab your elbows. If you don't need to modify, you're going to grab the elbows. The chin is down, back of the neck on the floor so that you're nice straight back. And you're going to work your way back from one vertebrae at a time to the tailbone. Yes? One vertebrae at a time to the tailbone as you pull the knees to the chest. Now in the Barkan Method, we do the leg lift. So her legs go straight up in the air afterwards. If you need support for your lower back, you can place your hands under your buttocks, palms down. You would flex the feet and lower down a few centimeters, hold, point, flex, lower down a few more, hold, point, flex. We do it 6 times until you get to the very end, point, and then we cross it 20 times just to get a little lower abdomen work. And then stop, flex the feet, and down you go. Pavanamuktasana. Next pose in the series, Chattara Parivartanasana, it actually means belly side rotation, but it's also lower back position, side body stretch. You can bring your knees up, feet flat. You're gonna shoot your hips over to the right, bring your knees to the left, hold the top thigh with your left hand, and look over your right shoulder. This palm would face the ground. Now the reason why we have to scoot our hips over, go back again for a second. If you don't shoot your hips over, you just bring your knees over, her spine is now no longer parallel with the mat. See that? Do it the other way so people can see it at home. So if you just bring your knees over, now she has a line that's diagonal here. So go back again. Instead, hips out to the left, now knees over to the right, and now her spine is vertical, and now she's parallel with the mat. Modification, throw me a block for a second, Matt. Do the other side. To modify, you could take a block between your thighs, like so. There's a modification. Or you can eagle wrap your legs under or over to get a little extra stretch, and then go over, look over your shoulder. It's a great side body stretch. One of the things in yoga, we work the side bodies hard to get to places that a lot of times you won't get in a traditional exercise. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. I mean, you can strengthen it, but to really stretch it and get in there and open up the body, priceless. Okay, relax. Shavasana. Okay, moving on to a posture that I named about 15, 16 years ago. There's no Sanskrit name for it. Krishnamacharya's called dead pigeon, and I named it Janu Padasana 1, foot to knee pose 1, even though it really is foot to thigh. So you can't say Pada Padasana, leg to leg pose. I just Janu Padasana, foot to knee. So knees up, feet flat. The posture, by the way, that I was doing even when I was in the Bikram world, and Emmy Cleaves, who taught me the advanced class, also more senior teacher than I was in the Bikram world. She was doing it too until Bikram found out and he got really upset with us. Don't do that pose anymore. So your foot comes over the thigh, but not on the knee, so it's really below the knee. So it's really not foot to knee pose, it's really foot to leg pose. That creates a space here. Your hand goes through the space, the right hand goes through the hole, interlace the fingers at the top of the knee, and you're going to pull the knee into the chest. But this knee, the left knee is working to the back of the room. You have to understand that opposite direction. It's not just left knee in, it's right knee back. That's the opposite direction to get you into your right side piriformis. Now sometimes this foot, you got to watch your students on this one, the foot drops down like this. So if I say bring your left foot up, they'll bring this foot up because this foot's on the left side. So you learn what to say by how your students respond to what you're saying. So I say, you're holding the left knee, lift your left foot up, and then that gets them to understand where that foot is so that your leg is parallel. Change completely in Shavasana, and then do the other side so you're not walking around imbalanced all day.
Is it okay to straighten the...
It's really the glute, and underneath the glute's the piriformis. So you can see it better from this angle. You're not just bringing this right knee in, this knee is coming back. You have to understand the opposite direction in both positions. So it's this knee in, and this knee, it's really the hip, not the knee, goes back. Sometimes people will use this arm to push this leg back.
Yeah.
And then relax Shavasana.
Can you grab under the thigh?
Yeah, you can do that. Grab underneath the hamstring instead. That's an alternate grip. Some people have to do that because they can't get the top of the knee.
Because this way I can really get...
That's a modification. Yeah, because you can push the knee back with the arm that way.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay? And then relax Shavasana. The next pose that I added from the Bikram 26 and 2 is what I also named about maybe a little bit later than the other one, Janapadasana 2. It's my own name. You won't look that up and you won't find it on Google. Janapadasana 2, foot to knee pose 2. Now it's an internal rotation. When we did Supta Bajrasana, it was external rotation. Now we're going to do an internal rotation. So knees up, feet flat. Let's do the left leg first. Bring your left foot out. Heel toe your left foot to outside the mat. And then you're going to turn this knee in so you come down, so it comes on to this line with your hip. In fact, let's face this way now. Bring your head here and your legs there. Because it's important to see this. Do the pose for a second so I can see if it's in the shot or not.
So you make this pose up?
Okay, good. Well, I'll answer your question again. All right, then go back again. So, I had Haley magically turn to the side so she can take this foot out like this. Outside the mat. Now she's going to bring her knee into the right. But she doesn't want the knee, this is key, to cross the center line. Point your foot more. You don't want that knee to cross over. You want shoulder, hip, and knee in this line here. And then the foot can flex more. So there's a right angle here. See the right angle? You're probably going to have to if you're sitting down, get up and go over to your new people and adjust them. Then this foot, first of all, the modification would be just to stay here. Don't bring the foot over. But bring the foot over now. And now the weight of your right leg goes to the ground. That stretches the left side IT band. And then at the end, you can take this arm over your head for a side body stretch. So here's the side body stretch. But the IT band can be so tight for so many people. And now the weight of this leg stretches you there. And there it is. You can do the other side so you're even. Heel toe over. But the key in teaching this pose is that knee has to be underneath the hip. It can't be over to the side. So I say turn your knee to the left, but don't let it cross the center of your body. That's my cue. If you can remember that, that's a good way to use the sentence, to structure your sentence. And then change. Come back to the other way again. Questions on that one? Most people have tight IT bands. It's a great, great pose. And definitely a posture that was created in the West. It's not a traditional yogic asana. Either was the last one, Janapadasana 1. Supta Bhadrasana was, Pavanmuktasana was, and Happy Baby is too. I don't know, that might have been in the West too, but Ananda Balasana, this really means Ananda is bliss, Bal is child, so the literal translation would be blissful child, but they nicknamed it Happy Baby. Grab a hold of the feet. You can grab either the outside of the feet, pull the knees down, but think when you're pulling the feet down that your heels are going up. So knees down, heels up as you pull, finding resistance. You can also grab on the inside of your feet too, like so. Yeah, so you're turning your hands this way and then pull down. Another grip. And you got to find the sweet spot. Maybe move side to side a little bit. Find the area that's tight and pull into that area as you're pulling the feet down. And then relax Shavasana. I don't teach it that way, the toes grip. It's not a terrible thing. I think you can, when you're pulling on the feet, I think you can get a lot more leverage. Yeah. All right, that's it. Those are the daily 4 poses that we do every class as hip openers, because I definitely saw that was something that was missing in the Bikram flow, were hip openers, and these are some of the hip openers that I added in. Of course, when we do the hip opening sequence, which comes later, we even build from there. Welcome back to the beach. So those are the Barkan Method daily floor poses. We do them every single day in the Barkan Method Hot Yoga and the Hot Vinyasa class. Here's where I'm going to be in the next few months. May 9th to the 16th, I'm going to be in Costa Rica for the Barkan Method Level 2/3 teacher training program. It's also a retreat. You can come. It's open for everyone at all levels. And then in June and July, I'm going to be in Coconut Creek for Barkan Method, another Level 1 200-hour live teacher training program. In August, I'm going to be in Tennessee at Infinity Yoga doing another Level 2/3 teacher training program. And November and December, back to Marlton, New Jersey for another Level 1 200-hour teacher training program. I'm working pretty hard these days. So that's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Any questions or comments, especially about these poses, put them down below. I'm happy to get back to you, and I'll see you the next video. Bye, everyone.